Welcome to California Edition. My name is Brad Palmer. It's coming to you from Washington, D.C. We're inside the Cannon House office building. And look who I found, Lee Baca, the Sheriff of Los Angeles County. What a treat it was to see you in Washington. I'm so glad you can join us. What brings you to the nation's capital?
Well, this is the annual trip that the Board of Supervisors take to Washington to meet with Congress members, to meet with commissions, to discuss with the senators what's going on in Los Angeles and what we need from the Washington view.
Yeah, so what was on the agenda? What did you say to the various members of Congress as you met with them?
Well, one of the greater things that I in particular had to discuss was gun safety. That's a very big issue. The immigration reform aspects of what it means relative to a safer United States.
Let's start with gun safety, if I may. As you know, there was a lot of momentum after the tragedy at Sandy Hook to create new gun regulations, a lot of support behind what we know as a background check, increased background checks, which we have in California, close that gun show loophole. It failed in the Senate. Is that of concern to the Sheriff of Los Angeles County in light of the fact that California does have much stricter laws?
Well, there's no doubt that there's a disappointment factor for public safety across the United States, but the safety is not only in relationship to criminal acts, it's also in relation to personal ownership. And there's a large number of people who injure themselves or are fatally subjected to their own weapon. And so it's not only the idea that criminals shouldn't have guns, and those that do should be punished severely. It's a matter now, is the gun safety strategy of America important enough for Congress and the Senate to do something about this?
And I want to ask you, it's been interesting to me that almost universally we have seen large city sheriffs and police chiefs come out in favor of increased gun regulation, whatever that may mean. And yet their voices didn't seem to carry the day. Why is it that the forces that oppose increased gun regulation seem to prevail?
Well, I think the gun owners that are true enthusiasts, the hunters, they are very good at taking care of their weapons, managing them, and they're not the issue from my point of view, and neither the National Police or Sheriff's Associations. What is the issue is how the urban areas have been so negatively affected by gang members with guns that they acquire illegal through straw buyers. So we want to close the straw buyer loophole. People who are mentally ill who are able to acquire a weapon, and no one seems to be able to do much about it. The underfunding of the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Agency, which is a federal agency supposed to regulate all this stuff, is weak in terms of its personnel.
Now, when you met with various members of Congress, I presume you focused on the California delegation, is that true?
Yes.
Democrats and Republicans probably come at these issues from a similar viewpoint. And so how are you able to prevail on other members from other states on issues that are so impactful to urban communities like Los Angeles?
Well, the way we have to influence the discussion, the debate, the narrative, is that people like me, when I was in the Marine Corps, I was a member of the National Rifle Association. Back then, even assault weapons that were military type was not a supportive position where the National Rifle Association was wanting to expand assault weapons that were military weapons. But things changed in the 70s. It changed more in the 80s. It became more strident in the 90s and currently. So what we need to do is say, first of all, what is the Second Amendment protecting? And first of all, it's also a part of the American Constitution. So we don't want to disturb that. So the National Sheriff Association take the position that the Second Amendment is, in fact, a right that Americans have. But you can disqualify yourself from that right.
He is the Sheriff for Los Angeles County visiting the nation's capital. My name is Brad Palmer. This is California Edition.